Please. The family is coming over in 2 hours. Arthur is bringing the meat. Can you at least put a tarp over the sculpture? It looks a bit naked. Art is naked, Lily, Eleanor proclaimed. It is the raw truth of the human condition. In the living room, Dexter was having a naming crisis. He had tried to suggest Arthur to Arya one more time, and she had responded by doing a silent meditation for 45 minutes. Arya, Dexter pleaded, my dad is going to lose his mind. He's already printed Arthur Higgins III on a bib. Can we at least compromise? Arthur Kananda? The vibration is wrong, Dexter, Arya said, her voice like a cool breeze. Arthur sounds like a man who eats boiled cabbage. Kananda sounds like a soul that has touched the stars. Sebastian walked in, looking exhausted. The neighbors called. They think we're running an unlicensed masonry business in the dining room. Also, Dad is here. He's brought a doctor's bag and a look of deep concern. Dr. Maxwell Street Clare entered, looking at Eleanor's progress. Ah, Eleanor, I see you've reached the obsessive phase. Have you been drinking your chamomile tea? Your blood pressure is probably high enough to power a small village. I am fine, Maxwell, Eleanor snapped. I am on the verge of a breakthrough. I just need a model. I need the perfect expression of existential dread. She looked at Miles, who had just arrived with Arthur and Mabel, carrying a cooler full of meat. Miles looked hungry, tired, and deeply confused. Perfect, Eleanor shouted, pointing at Miles. The butcher, stay right there, don't move. Give me that look of vacant longing for a sausage. Chapter 6. The Secret Admirer. In the midst of the chaos, a side plot was blooming. Manny, a local Oakhaven man and a longtime friend of the family, had been harboring a secret crush on Flora, a vibrant woman who had recently moved back to town after a messy divorce. Manny was a man of few words, most of them related to fixing carburetors. He had asked Lily for advice on how to win Flora over. You need to be a secret admirer, Lily had told him. Send her flowers, send her a letter, be mysterious. Manny had taken this to heart. He had spent the morning sending delivery after delivery to Flora's house. First, a bouquet of roses. Then, a box of chocolates. Then, curiously, a stuffed donkey. Flora, however, was currently at the Street Clare house for the barbecue. She was sitting on the patio, looking at her phone. I have a stalker, Flora whispered to Lily. Someone is sending me gifts. I got a donkey, Lily. A stuffed donkey. Who sends a donkey? Maybe it's a metaphor? Lily suggested, hiding a smile. For stubborn love? Just then, Manny walked onto the patio. How's the donkey? Manny whispered, much too loudly. Flora froze. Manny, you sent the donkey? And the roses, Manny said proudly. I'm the mystery man. Like in the movies, except I drive a Ford Transit instead of a horse. Manny. Flora sighed. You're a sweet man. But next time, just buy me a pint at the pub. Chapter 7. The Barbecue of Great Aunt Gertrude. The sun was high, and the barbecue was finally lit. Arthur Higgins stood over the grill like a king guarding his hoard. All right, Miles, Arthur said, rubbing his hands together. Bring the meat. We've got ribs, we've got brisket, and we've got the special Higgins sausages. Mabel, where's that seasoning? The grey stuff Gertrude sent? Mabel appeared from the kitchen with the plastic bowl. Here it is, Arthur. It looks a bit like salt, but Miles thinks it's that fancy Himalayan stuff. Perfect, Arthur said. Nothing like a bit of exotic Australian salt to spice up a Higgins feast. He took a large handful of the grey powder, the remains of Great Aunt Gertrude, and liberally sprinkled it over the sizzling ribs. Look at that crust, Arthur admired. It's got a real, earthy look to it. In the kitchen, Lily found the letter that Arthur had discarded from the Australia crate. She picked it up and began to read. Dear Arthur and Mabel, the letter began. It is with a heavy heart that I send you this urn. Our dear Great Aunt Gertrude passed away last month. Her final wish was to return to her homeland and be scattered in the ancient soil of England. Please handle her remains with the utmost respect. Lily's eyes went wide. She looked at the urn on the counter. She looked at the empty bowl. She looked out the window at the patio, where Arthur was flipping ribs covered in a fine grey seasoning. "Oh, my God," Lily whispered. She ran out to the patio, just as Arthur was handing a rib to Dr. Maxwell Street Clare. "Stop," Lily screamed. "Maxwell, don't eat that." "Why not?" Maxwell asked, his mouth inches from the meat. "Is it undercooked?" "I'm a doctor. I can handle a bit of salmonella." "It's not salmonella," Lily yelled. "It's Gertrude." The patio went silent. Arthur looked at the rib. "What are you talking about, Lily?" "Gertrude sent the salt." "That's not salt, Dad," Lily shouted, grabbing the letter from her pocket. "That's her. Gertrude is the seasoning. You just seasoned the brisket with your own great aunt." Arthur dropped his tongs. Miles, who had already taken a bite of a sausage, turned a pale shade of green. Mabel let out a soft, "Oh dear, I ate Gertrude." Miles whimpered. "I'm a cannibal. I'm going to jail." "Don't be dramatic, Miles," Eleanor Street Clare called out from the dining room window. "At least she's finally part of the family in a meaningful way." Chapter 8. The Cananda Revelation. As the family stood in a state of post-cannibalistic shock, Dexter realized that this was the perfect moment to break his own news. Compared to eating an ancestor, a weird baby name would surely be well received. "Dad," Dexter said, stepping forward, "while we're talking about family and legacies, Arya and I have decided on the name." Arthur looked up from the grill, his face a mask of grease and existential horror. "If it's Gertrude, I'm going to be sick." "It's Cananda," Dexter said clearly. Arthur blinked. "Cananda? Like the place with the maple syrup and the nice police officers?" "No, Dad. It's an Indian name. It means wisdom." Arthur looked at Mabel. He looked at the ribs. He looked at his son. Suddenly, the absurdity of the day seemed to wash over him. He started to laugh, a deep, belly-shaking laugh that echoed across Maplewood Manor. "Wisdom!" Arthur roared. "Well, we certainly haven't got any of that in this house. We've got an artist who sculpts in the dining room, a butcher who eats his relatives, and a baby named after a vibration. Why not? Welcome to the family, little Cananda." Arya smiled, her third eye seemingly satisfied. Mabel sighed with relief and began to clear the seasoned meat away, quietly promising to bury the rest of the ribs in the rose garden so Gertrude could at least help the flowers grow. Epilogue. The Sculpture and the Sunset. That evening, as the chaos subsided, Eleanor Street Clare completed her sculpture. It wasn't exactly what she had planned. Instead of the agony of the Parthenon, it was a piece titled The Family Table. It featured a marble Miles looking confused, a marble Arthur holding a grill, and a small, vibrating marble baby in the center. It won first prize at the exhibition. Manny and Flora were seen walking toward the Oakhaven pub, Flora finally agreeing to a date on the condition that Manny never, ever bought her a stuffed animal again. And in the Higgins house, a new urn sat on the mantelpiece. It was empty of ash, but filled with a beautiful bouquet of Oakhaven wildflowers. "You know, Arthur," Mabel said, leaning her head on his shoulder as they watched the sunset. "Family is like a barbecue. Sometimes it's a bit burnt, sometimes the seasoning is unexpected, but it's always better when we're all together." Arthur nodded, taking a bite of a plain, unseasoned cheese sandwich. "Just do me a favor, Mabel. Next time someone sends us a package from Australia, check the letter first." 19. Ndisikeya. Ndisikeya. "I will, Arthur," Mabel smiled. "I will." The end.